So we finally got our hands on the new Exotic LMG coming in title update 15. And I've been testing with this, and so far I have mixed feelings about this LMG. Now I want to say it does perform a lot better than the normal stoner, so this is technically the exotic version of the stoner LMG. And I want to say the damage and rate of fire actually perform really well with this weapon just right off the bat, and the recoil and stability is really easy to control, whether you're on PC using a mouse and keyboard or using a controller. There was no real complaints with that, and you guys probably figured that even the LMG, the stoner, is the same thing, right? Hardly any issues controlling it. Now I will tell you that I only tried 2 different builds, one of them being the new Heartbreaker build, and I think maybe with the right build this could be a little bit better. But what I did want to do is dive into what this weapon does and how it works, and the best way to show this is actually in the range, and that's because this weapon does an aerial status effect, right? It hits multiple enemies if you set it up right. As you saw, look, all 4 of those enemies all pinged for me. So let's talk about the talent itself. So if we look right here, the base damage on the build I have is 107,000 damage, 660 RPM, not bad, and 100 round mag. Now this weapon comes with LMG damage, damage to targets out of cover, and damage to armor, exactly what you want, and that's what you would want on an exotic LMG, and those are the same attributes that I run on my LMG classes, that damage to armor and damage to targets out of cover. Now the exotic talent on this is what really makes it stand out, disruptor rounds. And let's read this. Shooting an enemy marks the enemy and adds a stack to the agent up to a count of 50. Now shooting the marked enemy refreshes the mark and adds stacks to the agent. When you deploy a non-shield skill, it removes the stacks on the agent and marked targets trigger in effect. So 1 to 10 stacks, it pulses the marked targets for 5 seconds. 11 to 25 stacks, it pulses and disrupts the marked target for 5 seconds. 26 to 49 stacks, it pulse, disrupts, and disorients marked targets for 5 seconds. And if you get a full 50 stacks, it pulse, disrupts, and disorient marked targets and all hostiles within 10 meters of the marked targets for 5 seconds. This effect will trigger immediately if any marked enemy is killed. So the best way to show you this is I am going to mark all 4 of these enemies right here. So there's 4, and we already have a full stack. That little symbol right under the amount of rounds I have is my full stack of 50. Now as soon as I use my pulse, you can see all of them get the status effects, right? Now what I will tell you is the 5 seconds that they do have that status effect I felt was really short. Now while the talent actually looks good on paper, I feel like when you're actually using this in the game, it just seems like it underperforms a little bit. Now it is a new toy, and a lot of people are gonna say it's the best LMG in the game, and I'll tell you it's solid, but it definitely, I wish they would tweak this a little bit more before they release this to us, because I feel like a lot of people will grind to just have the exotic, but after that, then what, right? What happens to it next? And that's my biggest concern with some of these exotics that are coming to title update 15. Now, I think this talent can work. I just feel like it does need a little bit of tweaks. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys have actually tested out the PTS, I recommend going to the forums, Ubisoft forums for the PTS, and giving your honest feedback. Now, I will tell you that the weapon is actually really easy to control because of the mods that they have on there. So the scope comes with reload speed, the magazine comes with 15% weapon handling, the underbarrel comes with 10% stability, and that's what gives it really good handling on this weapon. And then finally, the muzzle gives us 10% rate of fire. So that is why it fires a lot faster than what you would get on your typical stoner. Now, my input on it is I think the seconds, the amount of time that they do have those status effects, whether they're pulsed, whether they're disoriented, whether they're disrupted, needs to really increase. Because if, say I do build a 50 stack, right? That's 50 bullets that I have to hit them, and that's half my clip, especially with the stoner, which isn't a fast firing weapon. So I do have that stack, right? And say I mark a few enemies, I hit the pulse, and then I can really focus on one. It doesn't really help me out when you have 3, 4, or 5 guys pulsed or disoriented when it ends in 5 seconds. Now, I think that's where it could be improved. Now, I might be wrong. I want to hear what you guys have to think about it, but I just feel like those 5 seconds are very underwhelming. I think 10 seconds, 15 seconds, but you could even probably push it to 20 seconds based on the stacks you have. But I honestly feel that the 5 seconds that you get really aren't worth it. Now, if you just want to use the weapon because it has a nice rate of fire, it's really easy to control because of the mods on it, man, go ahead, do it. But I will tell you, that disrupt, that disorient, that pulse, man, it should definitely be improved. And I just want exotics to feel powerful again. And I feel like this one doesn't hit the mark. And I feel like, yes, people will play with it when it drops because it's a new toy, right? Like new toys, we all play with them. But then once that new toy phase goes away, a lot of people are going to go back to the old faithfuls, the ones that perform, the ones that put in work, and the ones that will perform the best. And that's what's going to happen with this one if it doesn't have some type of tweaks. But yeah, definitely, I like the concept behind it. I definitely like this exotic, and I can't wait to see more and keep testing the other ones. And hopefully I can give you guys my honest feedback as best as I can. And I've actually been reading a lot of the comments for the other 2 videos for the PTS because I want to see what you guys actually think about these new exotics. What do you personally think about it? What do you think about the gear sets, the brand sets? And when I do post a video, I like to see what you guys think, because that I'm just one person. It takes all of us to come up with great ideas to hopefully help these developers, you know, make some good choices, tweak some things, and obviously have a game that we all enjoy playing, whether it's PvE or PvP. So we're gonna wrap up the video here, guys. Thank you guys again for the support over the last few weeks on the videos. You guys have been amazing. Also, if you guys want to see current Division 2 stuff that's in game, like tips, tricks, builds, I have been posting a lot of those on the second channel. I'll put a link in the description for you guys to check that out. Highly recommend checking out that channel. It's NothingButSkillz 2.0, and definitely you won't be disappointed. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up here. Appreciate the support, appreciate the love. Until the next one, hey, Nothing But Skills out.